Hello and welcome back to the Common Colt Podcast, the Colts podcast with real takes and no clickbaits. I'm Josh Hudgens, joined by Dan Hertzler. How you doing, brother?
Man, I'm doing good. This is one of the highlights of the entire NFL season, draft week. We are excited to be back in the saddle, back ready to do a little new format here, Josh.
Yeah, I'm kind of fired up. There's a lot of podcasts on the YouTube sphere, and we want to do something different. A little PTI action for those who watch ESPN. We got the topics over there. That show's I think going away, so we got to carry on the tradition
Yeah,
and bring some production value to YouTube.
yeah, pour one out for the old guys, and just kind of keeping this moving and rolling, and we like the format. So here we go. We're gonna jump right into it.
Yeah, topic number one, Dan. What is the Colts' biggest need in the NFL draft, in terms of the draft? We got 3 minutes.
Yeah, I think it's pretty universal consensus. There's three big needs. We got offensive line, we've got linebacker, and then tight end. We don't really know what's going on with the tight end with Braden Smith, kind of his offseason stuff, contract. That one, I just got to put it a question mark because I'm not in the building. I don't know what's going on. They could identify that as their biggest need right now because they want to think ahead and they're not sure what they got there. If that's the case, there's some really good tight ends at pick 14, or sorry, tackles. I'm sorry that we can pick and look at. But I'm more interested in linebacker and tight end. The big name is Tyler Warren, tight end out of Penn State. There's also the other guy from Michigan, Lovelace, or not Lovelace. What's his name? Drawing a blank here real quick. Yeah, Loveland. Sorry, Colston Loveland, good tight end out of Michigan. The other guy to watch if you're thinking linebacker is a linebacker out of Georgia, Jahada Campbell, that
Yep.
they really love. High RSA score, which we'll talk about in a little bit, kind of fits the mold. He's probably the only linebacker that I would take with that pick. So it's going to be real curious who's available at 14. And I think it's going to be one of those three areas.
Yeah, I'm going to be curious. It's always, I feel like, remember last year for the Colts, they entered the draft and they had their choice. They were the first
Yeah.
defensive player taken. Latu was the first
Yeah.
defensive player in the draft. I mean, that was like Ballard's dream. So you just don't know how these first 13 picks are going to shape up for the Colts. For me, honestly, the biggest need is I think it's a playmaker. And we haven't needed tight end. We've swung and we've missed so many times the tight end position.
Yeah.
Anthony Richardson, I think we know the jury's still out on him, but you have to surround him with a guy who can make a big play, who can catch the ball, who he can rely on, that's not just a wide receiver. They say tight end is a young quarterback's best friend. And to me, if
Yeah.
you're going to make a difference and if you're going to give your best effort of surrounding a young quarterback with weapons, you got Jonathan Taylor, you've got Tyler Warren is who I want the Colts to draft with that pick. You would then have Michael Pittman, Josh Downs, Alec Pierce is your big play threat. All of a sudden, you could say, hey, we actually surrounded this guy with weapons. And to me, you're a Penn State guy. I know you've watched Tyler Warren play. I
Yep.
mean, do you think he has superstar potential?
Yeah, he's the CMC of the tight end position. If you know CMC, he does everything for the Niners. This is a unique talent. Played quarterback sometimes. They ran some plays with him where he actually ran the ball. Amazing weapon. Just dominated in the Big Ten. So I'm a huge fan of him. Again, don't undersell though Loveland. I know I got his name wrong. I'm going to get all names wrong. If you guys have been with us before, you know I'm going to get names wrong. I'm sorry about that, Colton. I'll get your name right if we draft you. He's a legit tight end. So,
Ooh, that's the bell.
even if
That's the bell,
oh,
man.
okay.
Sorry. I mean, he's a legit tight end. That's the way to end it. But
All right, all right.
I'll let you talk about the next topic. Who do you think is the top player in the draft?
Well, I mean, if you're looking at all just raw talent, I think it's just Travis Hunter. I think there's just no doubt about him being. We use this word generational talent.
Yeah.
We haven't really seen a guy like that probably has been able to come in, and do kind of like the both way thing. Charles Woodson did it a little bit, but it was almost more of like a gimmick at Michigan to win the Heisman. That was about 25 years ago. I'm dating myself here,
Yeah.
but people are just head over heels with this guy. It's a big question mark of where he's going to play. Is he going to be a wide receiver? Is he going to be a cornerback? I think it's going to be based upon which team takes him. Right now, it looks like the Browns might take him, and they're going to use him at wide receiver. But then I wouldn't be surprised if he would be in some sub packages. Huge questions. It's almost like can he do what no one else has done? I know, for some of us around here, kind of a little bit of a weird connection, but it's kind of like a lot of questions about Caitlin Clark last year at the WNBA. Hey, women's basketball on a football show. But you know
Yeah.
how everyone was saying, like, can she do what you saw in college? Can she do it in the WNBA? And then she went out and did it. That's going to be the question that Hunter's going to
Yeah.
have. And I'm actually a believer. I think he can do it.
I'm not a believer at all. I'm just not. I've those guys that you mentioned, the two-way players, they're big names for a
Yeah.
reason, or we remember them for a reason because they're like the only ones that have actually done it. You think about,
Yeah.
hey, you could draft Tom Brady in the sixth round, he's pick 199. Well, guess what? We know the exact
Yeah.
pick because he's like the only guy that's actually done it. So, um,
Yeah.
to me, my top player, like if the Colts somehow like just lucked in and they're like, hey, Colts, you're actually picking number one overall because we feel bad about everything that's happened over the last 15 years. Um, Abdul Carter. I want a guy who is going to wreck a game.
Yeah.
You can put him on the defensive line and just let him go at the quarterback. We've seen it time and time again in big games where when that quarterback gets hit, it changes things. It does.
Yeah.
You've seen it. Super Bowl '07, Tom Brady against that New York Giants football team with Strahan and the boys. They got after Brady and it ended the game. We seen it in the Super Bowl this season. Mahomes was under some serious pressure and
Yep.
it changes the game. And if you can build that defensive line that can generate that pressure, all of a sudden you don't need that top five
Yep.
quarterback anymore. You could
Yeah.
if you have an elite team, and I don't know. I would love an Abdul Carter on my team. It's been so long since the Colts have had a guy like that.
Well, you way the way that you win in the NFL is you have a great quarterback and you have someone that can stop the great quarterback. If you don't have a great quarterback, you need someone, multiple people that can stop the great quarterback. Like you said, the Eagles were a great example of that. Again, living kind of closer to the Penn State land, man. Abdul Carter, he did everything. They moved him around. He was inside, outside. He had basically a busted
Ooh,
shoulder and was playing,
that's the
and
alarm
just doing
there.
some great things.
Yeah,
Yeah, and every time I'm getting caught on that stupid
you're
alarm.
getting caught. It's all right. That's all right. We'll move on to the next topic as we're moving right along here. Talking about trades, Chris Ballard in the
Yeah.
trade. Usually it's mid round trades, but we're going to talk specifically here a first round trade. Um,
Yeah, the reality is he hasn't done it. All the trades that he's done in the first round have been prior to the draft, and it's been stuff, for players and moving picks and stuff like that. He's never done an in draft trade. The only thing that I think could happen again is back to my original statement in point one about Braden Smith, and we don't know kind of his status or his contract or where they
yeah,
think he is. And that position, the tackle, there's about probably 4 or 5 kind of first round grades on tackles. You could move back. I think there's no way in the world that they move forward. Okay, they're not going to move forward. They're sitting there at 14. They're not going to give up picks. And if Warren somehow's gone, if Loveland's gone, if Campbell's gone, maybe they look and say, hey, we got no one here that we think is worth the 14th pick. Let's move back. The other problem though is I don't know how many teams want to move up. I don't really know. Kind of, is there really a key guy that somebody wants at
quarterback.
pick 14? Well, again, Sanders is the one that they're looking at. Is he going to fall? Is he going to drop? Does he get past the Saints? Do teams start thinking, say, hey, again, I know a lot of times he's been mocked to the Steelers at pick 21. They're thinking, hey, maybe I'll jump up to 14 and get him if they really believe in him. But that's going to be the question there. And I think if Warren, Loveland, or Campbell are there, I don't think they're trading.
Yeah, for me, I don't think they trade back. I think in previous years, if Ballard didn't get quite the guy he wanted to, this would have been a good time for him to trade back if he had a little more leeway. But we know he does not have any leash at all. Like a lot of people thought he was going to be fired this year. He wasn't. We've seen, because of that, a lot more aggressive approach in free agency. Some good signings and maybe some overpays. But at the end of the day, we've seen a much more aggressive Chris Ballard. I would agree with you. I don't think there's anybody we really would or could trade up for that would move the needle that much. So unless if we get the itch that, hey, Tyler Warren's there and we want to move a pick or two up, I just think we stay put. It's not the Chris Ballard way once we get to that first round pick to trade back or to trade up. So yeah, I think we stay put. Would not surprise me at all if Second or third round, we move around a little bit to kind of fill out some of these roster holes we have. Like you said, specifically the linebacker position, the offensive line. We have some question marks there with
Yeah.
Kelly leaving and Will Fries. But yeah, to me, it's a Chris Ballard way. We're probably going to stay put in the first round.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
Now, one thing that I always find fascinating here is, hey, what do you know? By the way, we hit the shot here before this buzzer even went off here with about 5 seconds remaining. But
Well, hey, I think the audience needs to know that you have the clock. I can't even see the clock right now, so you definitely have an advantage here. It's not fair that I can't see this clock. That's why
hey,
I'm going over.
that's all right. That's all right. Maybe I should put one above my head or something. I don't know. Uh, so let's talk about quarterbacks. I like talking quarterback. You know it. If Andrew Luck would return, I would bring him back.
Yeah.
Uh, Drafting a quarterback, I think about all the hype around some of these guys, like you said,
Yep.
Sanders and
Yep.
Jackson Dart and Anthony Richardson, the question marks. We signed
Yeah.
Daniel Jones though. Any shot at all? First round, first 3 rounds, let's say, first 3 rounds that the Colts
Yeah.
take a quarterback.
Yeah, well, besides the clock over your head, you'll have is Andrew Luck coming back? Because that's
Yeah,
what I hear pretty
I'll,
much every
I'll
week
take it.
from you. And I know you saw the scout video of him being quarterback at Stanford. They're excited about that.
I'll take him
It
back.
ain't happening, Josh. Anyhow, I don't think there's any way that the Colts draft a quarterback. All the guys that you listed are going to go in the first 3 rounds. They've got three needy positions. If whatever they do the first round means they're going to do in the second and third round because they need a tight end, they need a linebacker, and they're going to need some offensive line help. So now you're looking at fourth, fifth, sixth round. Now you're looking at guys that are really just kind of no pun intended, just throwing darts at a board and trying to hope that it helps. And they already got that. That's what they got in Anthony Richardson. That's what they got in Vanilla Vic there in
Daniel
Daniel
Jones.
Jones. And so they're going to ride this season out. This is a do or die season for Anthony Richardson. We're going to find out if he's going to be a quarterback beyond this first contract. You can start getting excited about quarterbacks next draft. That's going to be the quarterback draft. That's where everyone's excited about Arch Manning and all these other quarterbacks. It's really deep. So don't even worry about quarterback. They're not drafting one.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that for all the reasons you stated, and then the fact that Ballard, in my opinion, Steichen and Richardson, they're all married. All three of them are probably married. If this season tanks hard,
Yeah.
we're looking at not only a clean sweep, but they're gonna mop the place and they're gonna concrete over things. It's gonna be a lot different renovation probably. Um,
Yeah.
so to me, you've just got to say we stuck our neck out for Anthony Richardson,
Yeah.
and we're gonna do everything we can to build around him. We're gonna spend premium picks, which first, second, third round are kind of premium picks on
Yeah.
the positions of need. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a late round flyer, sixth, seventh round flyer. Notre Dame kid. I'm a Notre Dame guy. Take the Notre Dame quarterback.
Mhm.
um, but
Yeah, he can't really throw either, so
can't
that kind
throw.
of fits.
Yeah, it kind of fits. It kind of fits. Yeah, he'd fit our offense well. It just to me, I've seen some people talking wanting Jackson Dart, and I think the problem is it happens every year. These guys who are mocked in second or third round, they become first round grades by the time it's draft day. We see it all the time. We got
Yeah.
5 seconds left. Do you want to say
Yeah.
something to get cut off?
Yeah, nice try.
All right, let's move on now. Dan, tell me, Chris Ballard, he is known to be the like traits guy when it comes to speed, the RAS score.
Yeah.
We've seen it with this roster. Do you think he moves his philosophy now that the Colts are failing?
No, I think he's all in it. I think he's an analytic kind of guy. I think he's looking at these players and just saying, look, I want the best athletes at the position. I think again, he's been around long enough. He's not going to start changing kind of his philosophy here. He's going to be all in on that. And with that, I just want to throw out a name. Again, some of you know that I'm Western PA living, and I hear about all these people all the time in this area. There's a kid out of Pittsburgh, a linebacker, Brandon George, that had one of the all-time highest RAS scores for a linebacker. In
Yep.
fact, he is seventh out of the last 30 years for a quarterback. I know he got a 30-day or well, not 30-day, but a 30-player invite to the Chiefs, so he might go a little bit earlier than second round. But watch that name. if he's there in the second round, that might be the linebacker that they're looking for.
That's an interesting thought. When it comes to Ballard, I think you hit the nail on the head. I think he's kind of dug his grave, good or bad. The one thought I have on Ballard, let me just ask you this: do you like that? Do you like the thought of we're taking athletes at each position?
To a point, because again, you can't coach athleticism. They are who they are. Yet we've also seen plenty of workout warriors that don't do it with pads on. They can't do it in live action. They can't read a defense. They can't hit a hole. They can't play the feel of the game. So you can't just say, okay, look, here's what the number says, but you can't ignore the numbers either. So if you're looking at it percentage wise, I'm probably like a 75-25, 75%. I want the numbers, 25%. I need to see the game tape. And so that's kind of where I'm going to look at, because if you can't run fast, you're not going to play in the NFL. If you can't throw the ball, you're not going to play. But at the same time, if you're just lifting weights and running and that's all you do, you're not going to play either.
I'm the exact opposite. I'm like 70-30. I like the game tape. Like people say, some of these guys are speed demons. They just like the guy they can just throw a streak up to, and they think, in a perfect world they just have this fast wide receiver that they can do that with. But the truth is, you think of Henry Ruggs, obviously he had an unfortunate deal, but all these fast wide receivers that get drafted, how many of them actually turn out to be something? Like they have the potential because they're fast, or they do the cones real quickly. But to me, and as I got 10 seconds left here, this is going to be my closing statement on the topic. I've always said it. Potential just means you haven't done it yet. Give me the guy who's got great game tape and he's done it. Let's move on to the next topic. Dan,
you're lucky we ran out of time. I was going to smoke you.
Oh, hey, whatever. We'll talk team to watch. Team to watch. Anybody besides the Colts that you kind of got your eye on to see if they're going to do something fun or stupid?
Well, yeah, that's the way to say it, because it's the NFL draft to me it's pure entertainment. It's pure entertainment in the sense of, okay, what's this rumor? What's this smoke screen? What's going to happen? Who's going to screw it up? You look at teams like the Raiders that always just seem to take a weird pick.
Yeah.
You look at teams that pass on guys. I think it's the Bears that have the history of passing on quarterback after quarterback and not getting their guy. The big question is, where does Sanders go? This year, I think he's the guy that's kind of, falling quickly. You've got the quarterback, Moreau coming out of Alabama that was invited to the first round. And people are kind of scratching their heads because no one really had him as a first round grade. But now all of a sudden you're seeing people say, man, this is a freak athlete. We haven't really seen a runner like him. So is he going to go? And then you start seeing, okay, teams like the Eagles, who have traditionally just been a great drafting team. What are they doing? What they're thinking? They've got kind of a luxury of picks. They got a loaded team, and do they move up? Do they move back? And then again, hey, I'm going to mention this third time living here, and the Steelers. I mean, you look and say, what are they doing at 21? Where does Aaron Rodgers fit into all this? So to me, it's just drama all night long, and it's almost like every team has that level. We celebrate, or we talk about the Colts, but it's like 32 guys, or 32 owners, and cities around the country are excited and are filled with this drama of what's going to happen.
Yeah, to me, when I look at the draft, I think of a team like where I think the draft might get a little fun is really immediately Cleveland. Are they going to go just do something crazy? They obviously have Deshaun Watson and that whole situation, but do they go take a quarterback really early? I know some people are thinking they're going to take Travis Hunter. I think with that pick, maybe possibly. To me, that's going to be fun to watch. Also, like you said, from afar, I'm an Aaron Rodgers fan. Now, I might just got our ratings might have tanked. I'm not sure, but I enjoy watching those wily veteran quarterbacks play. There's something about it, how they play the game.
And I'm not an Aaron Rodgers. So if you got, you can be on my team if you don't like Aaron Rodgers.
Comment
not an Aaron Rodgers.
Hashtag Team Josh or hashtag Team Dan, and we'll see if you watch this far. But to me, it's this like the Steelers. Are they gonna make a move to say, hey, Aaron, we're making this move for you, whether it's trading up to get a guy or just saying, hey, we're all chips in this year, no matter what, on Rodgers, and maybe we're just gonna awful if we don't get him in free agency. So it'll be just interesting to watch. That's what I find fascinating is we have 2 seconds
Yeah.
left. And there's the bell right there. As we move on to our last topic, Dan, our last topic, any draft day traditions that you have that you do for fun?
Do you watch Draft Day on Draft Day? The
No,
movie?
no. I've watched it once before.
No, no, no.
What about
Yeah,
you?
that's pretty much all it's worth is
Yeah.
watching. I don't have too many traditions other than one of the things I love is I'm kind of in a group with guys. We talk football quite a bit on Discord, and what's cool about it is they're from all different parts of the country, all different
Yep.
fans, and it's really cool to kind of be an outsider, kind of seeing what teams are doing. But then these guys who are on the inside and the emotion behind it, and the feelings about it. Oh no, here we go again, or we need this, or why
Yeah.
isn't this GM doing this decision, or we always do these dumb things, and I just kind of love just the overall passion of fans and the excitement, the love hate relationship they have with their teams. It's not just something that the Colts fans experience, but everyone does. So I love being in that group and just hearing everybody kind of share and talk about what their experience is.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not much of a guy. Did you eat special food? I don't eat any special food. It's just like whatever the wife makes, and I probably don't get sick.
But you drink chocolate milk all the time, right?
I'll drink a glass of chocolate milk, and actually, what was it? 2 years ago, I was watching, and my TV was running slow. I was on like YouTube TV trial or something, and you spoiled the
Okay.
Anthony Richardson pick for me. I remember you called me, and like he wasn't even picked yet. Do you all right? Do you spoil? Do you go on Twitter? Do you spoil the picks on Twitter? Are you one of those guys?
No, no, no. I don't like to spoil it. I actually try not to get on Twitter. I try to stay to the screen and yeah, it is funny because different services, whether it's a local antenna or streaming or even the illegal streams, everyone's off on different things. So
Yeah.
yeah, you got to be careful about that. If it's your team, I would encourage you to stay off social media, stay off any kind of chat. Just kind of listen to it and absorb it. But again, it's just fun because you got a team like I got some friends that are Cleveland fans. They haven't had a first round pick in what 3-4 years
It's been
because of Watson
crazy.
trade,
Yeah.
and now they got the one of the most pivotal picks of the whole draft. So it's just fun just to see other people's excitement during this time.
Oh, I think I've seen they got Journey playing at their draft party at their stadium or something. Like it's a big deal.
Oh, do they really?
Yeah, so
Yeah, that's
it's kind of
cool.
a big
That's
deal.
cool.
I'm kind of excited. My tradition, I kind of enjoy it. So every year I get to like watch the Titans draft, and I feel like every year they just draft like a bum. I don't know what it is. I couldn't even tell you who the Titans drafted last year. Was it
Last
tackle?
year was yeah, it
Was it
was a
tackle?
tackle, but the big one was Will Levis last year was
Yeah,
because he fell. So no, was that last? That
two
was two
years
years
ago.
ago,
Yeah,
right?
it was Richardson's
I even forgot.
second
Yeah,
round. So it's just
yeah, you're right. You're right.
it's just the Titans. I just love watching this every year. It's just not a. It's just a bad pick. But guys, we
Well, I
appreciate.
heard someone just say today.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I heard someone today say that they think Cam Ward is in. If he was coming out last year, he'd be the seventh best quarterback. So
Wow.
I don't even think they're getting the best player at 1-1 this year. So
Wow.
we can have some fun with that.
We'll have fun with that. That's going to be a fun thing to have. Guys, this is the Common Colt podcast. We are back. Let us know, comment below what you think of the new setup. Any suggestions? We're always open to hearing it. I'm Josh. That's Dan. Thanks for watching.